friends. Now we are in session number 2 today. In the yesterday session we have seen the golden rules of accounting and how to apply that rule. Now again I am in the same topic today. So as I said in my earlier session, there are 3 accounts: personal account, real account and nominal account. Now I am going to tell you which ledger accounts are normally there in these types of accounts. The first one is personal account. Again I am repeating, the personal account is of 3, consisting of 3 different accounts, that is natural person, representative person and artificial person. So Mr. X and Mr. Y is a natural person. XYZ company, State Bank of India, SBI, State Bank of India, this is an artificial person. And capital account and outstanding expenses is representative of person's account. Again, why? Because capital is a initial contribution brought by the owner. So contribution brought by owner. Who is the owner? Owner is a natural person. So this capital account represents the owner. So this is representative person account. In the same fashion, outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses mean what? Expenses due but not paid, which is yet to be paid. So outstanding expenses is normally payable to either natural person or artificial person. Best example is outstanding salary. What is outstanding salary? Salary due but not paid. Generally we are paying the salary to the employees. Employees are human beings, so they comes under natural person category. So this expenses account, outstanding expense account, again represents the natural person. So these are the few examples. These are all our ledger accounts, because above that we are writing like that, account. So these are all ledger accounts. These are the examples. There are so many examples in this, but I have taken the few ones. Now coming back to the second account, real account. As I mentioned earlier in my last lecture, the real account represents tangible assets and intangible assets. That is plant and machinery, that is tangible. Building, tangible, that we can see. Furniture. Goodwill. What is goodwill? Basically goodwill is an intangible asset. This is the value of the business. Means goodwill means your value of the business. Then the next one is patent. What is patent exactly? Intangible assets means the assets which are there in the business but you cannot see. Invisible assets. Intangible. They are there in the business but we cannot see the assets. Those are goodwill. Patent means what? This is nothing but it is a patent means if you invented something for the first thing, for the first time, you have to register that patent with the patent authority. So this is your asset. Patent you generally cannot see, but it is there in the business, because by utilizing this you can earn the money. The best example is, suppose if I develop some formula to manufacture some product, that formula I cannot see, but that formula I can use in the manufacturing process. That is my patent, because I have registered that patent. I have developed the formula for the first time. So that is my patent. Loose tools. This is again, these assets are there in the business. We can see that asset. These are the as well as spare parts. So you can see the asset. This is again a form of which asset? This is a tangible. This is again a tangible, because I can see the asset. I can touch the asset. Copyright. Again, if you see, copyright means what? Copyright means if you have this thing you can see in the film industry. Bollywood, if you have written some songs or if you have given the music to a particular song, that is your copyright. So you have written that such song for the first time. So again you have to register that song with the copyright authority, that is your copyright. Again those assets you cannot see, but that is your asset. So these are the copyright, this is intangible. Again I am repeating, plant and machinery, building, furniture, tangible because you can see the asset. Goodwill, patent, intangible, you cannot see the asset. Loose tools, tangible, and copyright again intangible. And last one is nominal account. Nominal account represents expenses account and income account. Means nothing but if you see your profit and loss account, your trading account, these represents our nominal account. Your balance sheet represents as real account normally, and also personal account. Okay, nominal account is rent account, expenses, travel expenses, again expenses, dividend received means income, for you it is income, so this comes under the nominal account. Sales account is your income, interest paid account, paid and received both are different. If it is paid, this is expense. If it is received, it is your income. And last one is royalty account. Again, what is royalty? If this royalty is in have the connection with the patent. If you are giving your patent to somebody else, so they will be using your patent, they will be using your formula. For that you are getting something in return, that is royalty. For you, again, royalty is either your expense or your income also. If you are giving some, suppose that charges for using the formula, for you it is an expense, or vice versa. If you are receiving the some charges for your patent, this is your royalty received account. This is expense account. Okay, so these are the few examples I have taken for personal account, real account, and nominal account. Now I am showing you one format, one table, that how the transactions can be converted into journal entry. Okay, this is actually due to space shortage, I have written this table in two lines. Actually, this table is only one table. The first one is transaction. Then two aspects. Then you have to classify that. Then you apply the rules, and by applying the rules, you pass the journal entry. These are the 5 steps in which you can pass the journal entry for transaction. Now, what is transaction basically? Now, in accounts, you are always, so transaction means what? Transaction means the event. Event means happening. Something is happening in the business every day. So these are the events. So that is nothing but the transactions. So transaction is basically the event. Now I am giving one transaction. Suppose started business with cash rupees 50,000. Again, repeat the transaction. Started business with cash rupees 50,000. This is the transaction. This is the event happening in the business. See, which is happening for the business. This is a transaction. This is the business transaction. So now two aspects. Which are the two aspects? So there is one cash. So I will write cash account, and the other one is started business with cash. Means what is this? You are contributing initial contribution. What is initial contribution to start the business? ज्यादा मराठीमध्ये आपण म्हणतो भांडवल. So in English it is called as capital. So I will write capital account. Okay. Now you will come to know in every transaction there should be at least two ledger account. Started business with cash of 50,000. There is a cash account and there is a capital account. That you have to identify. So now cash account, I must say it is a real account because it is a asset. It is a tangible asset because I can see the cash. And capital account, this account is a personal account, representative of person, because owner brings the capital. Okay. Now what is rule says? Debit what comes in and credit what goes out. This is the rule. And for personal, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now I am first taking the rule of real account. What is real account rule says? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So in my earlier lecture I have told you that think from the angle of business. Now if you are giving the cash to the business, for business the cash is received now. So debit what comes in. So I will say cash account should be debited. Why? Because what rule says, if you receive something in the business, you debit that account. So I am receiving cash. Okay. So cash account debit to capital account. To why I am crediting capital? Because what rule says, debit the receiver. See this is a personal account. Debit the receiver and credit the giver. Owner is the giver. See, if I write the logic, I should say cash comes in, and यहाँ पे owner is the giver. This is the logic I have applied for this particular transaction. Cash comes in, so I am debiting cash account because rule itself says that debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Cash comes in, I have applied the logic, and owner is the giver. This is the personal account. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So owner is the giver. Owner ने cash दिया है. Owner has given the cash to the business. So this is the entry. So entry will be cash account debit to capital account 50,000. This is the journal entry. Now you see, I have converted the transaction by first I have write down the two aspects, cash account, capital account. Then I classify that two accounts in the our three account, real, personal, nominal. Then according to that I have write down the rule, and the next very important things in that is application of rules. That is logic, which logic you are applying. Cash comes in and owner is the giver. So this is the entry I have developed from this transaction. Cash account debit to capital account. So this is the one of the example. Now I am taking one more example. Now again, goods return by Mr. A rupees 5,000. I am repeating transaction. Goods returned by Mr. A rupees 5,000. Okay. So now there are two aspects: goods account and Mr. A account. But I should not write the goods account because in general in accounts you are not writing the goods account. So what is goods? Goods mean nothing but stock. Stock is an asset. Okay. So I will write here. Acha. Now goods has been written by Mr. A. A has written the goods. It means in the past you have sold the goods to Mr. A. So that's why he has written the goods. So this is nothing but a sales return transaction. So I will write it sales return account, and this is, and the other one is Mr. A account. Okay. Now what is sales return account? Sales return represent stock, represent goods. What is goods? It is your stock. What is stock? This is your asset. So this is a real account. Again I am telling you, sales return consisted of goods. Goods is a stock. Stock is a asset. So this is a real account. And Mr. A, again, he is a natural person. So this is a personal account. Now rule is very simple. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now before passing the entry, I will write here logic. Before passing the entry, this is the last one, journal entry. I am writing the logic. What is logic? Says debit what comes in, credit what goes out. I should say that goods has been received by the business. So I will debit. So I will say goods comes in. Goods comes in. And what this rule says, debit the receiver, credit the giver. A is the giver. Again I am repeating what real account rule says. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Goods comes in because goods has been received. And who is the giver? A is the giver. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So the entry will be sales return account debit to A account. Goods comes in, debit what comes in, credit what goes out, and Mr. A is the giver. 5,000, 5,000. Below that you can write the narration in the bracket being goods returned by Mr. A, rupees 5,000. So these are the only two examples today. I am taking in my next session. I will take some more examples of the transactions. So this is how you can develop the logic for passing the journal entry. I am again repeating, don't by heart the entries in the accounting. You should, if you follow this process, if you follow this particular flow, entry passing will be easy for you. So this is all about the how to convert the transaction into the journal entry form. So thank you very much. In the next session we will cover some more examples of the journal entries. Thank you.